and then you still keep bringing it up, it's kind of like
you don't really want to heal from this.
You don't.
Because guys, this look. Can we just start by saying this looks really good?
Yay!
Wow. Okay. Well, hey guys. I got my friends with me. We have Jasmine from Let's Jazz It Up and Tiffany. Tiffany, tell me your channel one more time.
Tiffany Gregory.
Tiffany Gregory. So you guys check out my friends, show them some love, tell them Nija sent me. Okay, so today we are talking about some topics. What are we talking about today, y'all?
People cutting you off and you cutting people off out of your life.
Ooh.
So I think this is a really good like teaser for our podcast.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we're gonna weave it all together. We have decided to make some podcast episodes together, and
you guys actually asked for it when you keep seeing me and Nija on my live streams together, so I thought let's do it.
So stay tuned. We're gonna be chatting it up together, having some girl time. But so today we're talking about how, I'm gonna start by saying this.
Okay.
In my opinion, I feel like it really sucks when you have to cut somebody off, or when you have to initiate, like you know someone's not good for you, but you know like it's for your highest and greatest good to probably just let it go or let it dissolve and stop efforting so hard to hold on to something. But also, like, how do you guys feel when somebody has to cut you off? Like, are you usually the one that is cutting someone off, or have you ever been cut off by somebody?
So many people feel like the conversation is always we cut people off. Like that's always what the conversation is. Nobody really ever takes accountability of when you got cut off, did you deserve it? Like if you really deep dive about what happened in the situation, did you deserve it?
Yeah. I've gotten, well, first I've done both.
You've been on both ends.
Yeah, I cut plenty of many people off. And then at the same time, I have gotten cut off as well. Only one time really comes to mind, though. Well, actually, you know what? I've been cut off twice, probably. And honestly, I don't want to be that person to be like, I think they were wrong. But if I like told y'all the scenarios, y'all would be like, oh.
Because you know yourself as a person, and you probably know that you didn't mean it in a bad place, and that you know yourself as a well-rounded person of like, I'm pretty open.
Yeah.
But to other people who may be more closed-minded, it may have been beneficial to them.
I don't think so. And and I think it's like a thing of like maturity too, because all the people I feel like that all the situations where I was cut off, we were younger, and I think the communication just wasn't there between both parties. Like people didn't know how to communicate effectively, and sometimes when you don't know how to do that, you resort, fight or flight, literally, and sometimes people just go for avoidance, and not like. It's like you can't like have a situation happen right between people and then you never talk about it. Like that can't happen.
And then you act like it never happened.
If you want to salvage and have a solid foundation friendship.
Yes. But then too, on the other end of that, if let's say you have an issue, you talk about it, and then the person keeps bringing it up.
See, I feel like in romantic relationships, I tend to be the one who will keep bringing it up, because I'm like, no, this still hurts me, and I know it's for me to like go with it and fix it, but I'm like, no, but I still feel this.
I think the best thing to do is that a lot of people, like my aunt said, she was like, well, I talk it out with my kids, but they keep bringing it up, and I'm like, but if you talk to any therapist, you don't just have one conversation and you're done about that one situation.
You gotta keep unpacking
You have to keep unpacking it, because you probably didn't get all of your feelings out with it. You probably still don't feel resolved, and the more you talk, the more you unpack everything, and that can be annoying for some people, and they cut you off because of that, but it is actually needed. That's really how communication works.
I get what y'all are saying about that, but
you're like, sometimes you need a dead stuff.
Yeah, sometimes I think like if we have an altercation, we talk about it, there's apologies, I didn't say this before, but if there's apologies made, there's I forgive you said, I think for someone to keep bringing something up is like pointless to the growth. Now, if the person that apologized, has nothing to do with me, but I'm just saying, if the person that apologized keeps doing the thing, now that's different. But if they have completely stopped or whatever, and then you still keep bringing it up, it's kind of like
you don't really want to heal from this.
You don't,
because
that's what I'm talking about.
How do you heal without continuously talking it out? Like I've had.
You might need to do self-work though.
see, that's the thing. It's like we have to differentiate if it now what is needed self-work or what is it group work.
Exactly. No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right with
like
that.
are we resolved within ourselves and we're just bringing our personal drama into the relationship now?
Yeah. Do you I guess if you keep bringing it up, maybe they keep seeing that it really hasn't been resolved. Maybe it feels like a fake band-aid that was put on it just to, all right, let me just apologize and be done with it. But was it really unpacked it in that conversation?
Like, did you really understand how you hurt me?
And that could be why people feel like, I don't really feel like I said everything that needed to be said, and I feel like they were just apologizing to get it over with. I didn't mean to hurt you, so let it go. And I'm
that's a whole nother thing, though.
I want to say this too, because I am partially triggered by this conversation only because not in a bad way, but like I've had we have a little baby doing the bad stuff while we're doing this short intermission. Snickers is on her best behavior, so I just want you guys to see this.
If he has to use the bathroom, she has to use the bathroom.
Oh, you think?
Okay, well, here's the puppers. They're about to go take their potty break. That's why Jasmine ran up like
wait, that's why I was staring at the bottom of the screen if you see my face, because the dogs are at the ground.
The dogs are down there.
Did he poop?
Yeah, he pooped.
Oh, good.
Yay! He said, I did it. I did it.
Good job, Bear Bear.
Okay,
I'm gonna put him in there.
Okay. Short intermission, you guys.
That was funny.
And we're back. That was like the sponsorship ad break there. We're professional now. We got ad breaks. So okay, what I was saying before our furry friends let it go.
Literally.
Yeah. So I'm only partially triggered by this conversation because twice in my life have two friends on separate occasions told me that they didn't want to be my friend anymore. And I felt like that was very disheartening to me because I'm the kind of friend who's like, if there's a problem, I love you enough to be like, okay, let's talk about it. What did I do? What did you do? Because I value our relationship, I feel like it's worth us talking about it. But it really hurts when you're dealing with a friend who's like, it's not worth it to me to talk about it. I'd rather just end this.
I hate the type of people who they're so into being woke or just being into like if it's not good for me, then I'm just leaving. That's not how life is, and I understand you have to cut some people off, but to cut everyone off just because they make a mistake, I just don't think that is really good self-healing. Right? It's not healthy.
No, it's not.
You have to, I think you should see if those relationships are, and just because it's building up in you, it's like, have you even talked to this person yet about how you're feeling, or are you just going to cut them off? I don't think it's healthy.
It's not. It's not, because again, it's that whole avoidance thing that's happening, like, and it's probably, you know,
cancel culture.
Oh yeah, that's a really good point.
So many people are now, and I love it, so many people are about, you know, my feelings, how I feel, and all of this, but this still is being guilt to like being self-centered. Like, you can become let's
hold on, y'all. So my thing with cancel culture, I understand, like, from a spiritual perspective, why sometimes like it is healthy to look out for yourself and look at, like, if you're like repeatedly having an issue with somebody and you're like, you know what, right now where I am, I need to just leave this alone, work on myself, and I'm gonna grow by myself, and I'm gonna grow. I can understand that, but I feel it's unhealthy where every time you get in a conflict with everybody in your life, you're like, okay, hang up. Like the people who are always like hanging up, the people who are always blocking people, the people who are always like, it's like you don't have proper communication skills. It's like lacking communication skills.
It's the one extreme to the other.
Right.
Where it's like, I'm gonna do self-worth and self-care, and you go so extreme that now you're not really doing any self-care, you're just eliminating any problems in your life.
And then it's like, how can you have lasting you'll never have friends from your childhood. You'll never have
you'll never have problem solving skills.
That's what I was gonna say before, because it's like when you do stuff like that, it starts to not only like be, you know, in your relationships, but you'll start doing it with your coworkers. You'll start doing it with your tasks,
your spouses. You will be so quick to end them. Like, this is something huge I noticed in the Black community, because we don't have as many successful marriages. I noticed that a lot of times we're so quick to be like, I'm out, I can do this on my own, I'm independent, I don't need, you know what I mean? And I get that that's like the fight or flight. You rather fight and save face and be independent and say, I got this, but that doesn't make for longevity. And I feel like that's something that maybe other cultures, they're more willing to work through things, whereas sometimes we're like,
we're
okay,
so
that's it.
self-centered. America is self-centered.
Mhm.
It's all about me, 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 me. My feelings, my feelings, my feelings. What about the other person's feelings?
It's like I get both sides though.
Yeah.
Like I value my feelings and I value, but also like you just have to know when you're in the right and when you're in the wrong.
Yeah, I think that. And then too, like even with, let's say, like us, you know, we all seem we have our communication together. But let's say you're with a person that's not willing to work on their communication. You're trying to deal with you're dealing with a person that's not willing to work on themselves. That's when there even becomes a bigger issue, because if you're like, okay, this is how we, you know, I communicate, we need to communicate more effectively. If they're not willing to work on that with you, then there is
then you cut them off because you did try and they stonewalled you. There is no progression there. But if someone is actually, let's say they even yell or they're really passionate about what they're saying, you may take it as they're not listening to me. I'm like, no, they probably have a lot of compacted feelings that they do actually have about this subject, and this is going to take a continuous conversation.
I feel like as long as, like, even if you're yelling, screaming, like arguing, even though it's not healthy to handle your problem, there's still love there if you're willing to like hash it out. Like, I'm so freaking passionate about this, you're freaking pissing me off, but I want to talk about this because I love you. You know?
I mean, that's what they say about women, is that when they nag you, there's hope.
When they
quiet,
stop, it's over.
It's over.
Like, you better be grateful when your girlfriend is nagging you, like, can you do this? Can we hang out? Can we, like, can we? When she's like, okay, whatever.
Even with friends, how like people say I don't like a clingy friend, and I'm like, girl, you better do something with that girl. She loves you. And I know people can be super, super, super clingy, but maybe look at how can we compromise with this. Instead of, oh my gosh, she's so clingy. Let's, if you really like this person and she adds value to your life, there you need to sit her down and let's compromise.
Well, that's something that was huge for our friendship. I feel like my deep downfall as a person is when I feel emotionally exhausted, I need to retreat and be by myself, but I don't express that to my friends, and so they take it personally, like, why don't you F with me anymore? Like, why don't you talk to me? And it's not about them, it's that I need to be by myself to recharge so that I can be this big fight. So the thing that I loved about Jasmine is that I had that relationship in the past with a past friend where they're like, no, Nija, you're just a shit friend, and that's the end of it. But with Jasmine, she's like, Nija, you've been MIA, like, can we talk about it? Are you okay? Why are you distant?
And that's great. Wait. That's great. You want to talk about
my heart.
So what had happened was Nija came. We were like, let's hang out. It had been a while since we had hung out, and I do feel insecure that it had been a while. But I wasn't gonna attack her. I was just trying to see, like, what's going on? So she had actually said, Jazz, my friend just cut me off because she was explaining why she thought she was getting cut off, or she wasn't understanding. And I was like,
they're both Scorpios.
Yes, so I was like, you were walking on the beach, and I was like,
it was so
Nija. I was like, Nija, do you want the truth?
Yes. And I was like, please, Jasmine, just tell me, what is it?
And I said, she's probably feeling this way because you have a tendency to go MIA on a lot of people. You talk about wanting to be around people and hanging out with them and doing all this stuff, but you know, you don't not text back, but sometimes you take hours to text back, but it's like you never reach out to hang out. And she feels like she's Scorpio. She feels like she's putting all of this time and energy of wanting to hang out with you, but not wanting to be clingy, because we feel that energy. You're not that person. That now it's just like, well, she doesn't like me. I don't think, I had those thoughts. So I was like, do you want the truth? And she was like, why are you gonna tell me that? She didn't even know that was what was going on.
Like, and that's the thing too, like, we have to be patient with people because everyone's like style of dealing with things is different. But I'm like, if you just let me know, then I will know.
Literally.
If you shut the door in my face, you'll be upset and I'll be upset and we will never figure it out. But that's why I was just like so grateful to Jasmine, because like she didn't try to attack me. She wasn't like, you're a piece of shit. She was like, this is how you're making me feel. And I'm like, dang, I don't want to make you feel that way because I do value your friendship. Let me work harder on that. That is how we fix things.
Yes, it is. That's like a perfect example. That's a perfect example of how you fix things, literally.
Without being attacked, without, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I love when my friend Haley, we're so different. She's a Taurus, I'm a Scorpio. Stubborn, hard-headed. So when she does finally get to her point where I can feel the energy, that she's like, what's going on? But when she finally does come to me, I'm like, yes, we can finally talk about this. And then I have to let her come to it because she is a little bit more stubborn to me. She does let it build up, but I know I'm ready to sit down and talk about it when she is, because I may not know what's going on, but I feel it. So I don't
Yeah.
want to just bring something random up like, I'm noticing this, but it's completely different than what it actually is. But I'm like, she will come to me eventually, and I'm always prepared because I know my friend.
But you're open to talk about it. You're not like quick to be like, because people aren't doing things your way.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut you off.
Yeah, like
how can you no one can meet your needs if you don't make your needs apparent. No one is a mind reader. We cannot, and this is with friendships, romantic partners, with family, whoever. Don't expect people to know what you need. You tell people what you need. You first have to know what you need, and then you express your needs. Some people, this is so like manipulative. When people don't even know what they need, they don't make it, but they just want everyone to cater.
Oh my God.
Do this. And it's like, I don't even know what you need.
Exactly. I hate that. You should know.
Right.
What?
Like,
you
how?
know.
Right.
You know. What?
Right.
Yes, I always ask you, like, what's going on? I don't know. I just feel, and I'm like,
Right.
You have to put a word on it.
Yeah.
You have to put a definition on
You're
it.
right. You're absolutely right.
That's stressful.
I like that. So I feel like I didn't deserve it when someone cut me off out of their life, but I was sat down and I was like, if that was healthy for them, then I can't push it. I can't force you or, shake you into it anyway.
How do you know when you have been cut off?
Yeah.
Do you get ghosted? Do you reach out and they like are not like? How do you know you've been cut off?
Unfortunately, they delete you from
everything.
Oh, dang. Have you witnessed that? Like pictures being removed or like...
Oh no, they unfriend you.
Oh.
So what happened was that this person unfriended me on Facebook, and I actually I always feel the energy. I felt the energy of something wasn't right, and I would always continuously look on Facebook to see if we were still friends.
Dang.
And then finally I did it again. I was like, I haven't seen this person's post in a while. This person posts all the time, and I was like, oh, we're unfriended. I took a day to think about it because I looked on Instagram, and I was like, you know what? This person probably kept me on Instagram to keep the numbers.
Did they tell you?
I know. My question: did they ever reach out and say this is our problem? They just were like, you know what? Or maybe they were just getting triggered by your post. So
I know it was because we don't agree.
So maybe you guys are still friends. Maybe they just don't want to see your post.
So
like you guys never talked about it.
Y'all still haven't talked.
You gotta talk about
How
it.
did you cut off?
Because I'm okay until you come to me, because I wasn't the one with the problem. I was okay. I told you I was okay.
I don't know.
And I even said I love opposing views. That's why I posted, because I love the conversation. I never cut anyone out because they disagree with me, and I said that.
I feel like this. Are you sure you're not the one that cut them off in the situation?
Oh
you
no! I literally said I love this conversation.
No. But I'm saying, like, you haven't reached out either. Just no one has reached out. Y'all at a stalemate.
This person asked me to call. This person asked me to call one day when we disagreed publicly on Facebook.
Okay.
And I called. I literally was like, I'm not gonna call.
Wait, was that the last time?
Yeah,
You haven't talked since then?
No, because we don't really talk like that.
Okay.
We don't talk
So
that
y'all at a
much.
stalemate is what I'm saying. Nobody said anything, but no one's reached out either.
And do you still value the friendship?
Great question.
Ask yourself this at home too.
Yeah, that's a great question.
I value people not being mad at me, but I'm okay if you have to walk away. Like I said, I'm not gonna push the subject.
Do you value that?
It doesn't give me anything right now in my life.
Okay.
It doesn't give me, because we don't hang out like that. So
That's fair.
doesn't give me anything in my life right now.
That's fair. Okay.
I just don't like the feeling of being hated for something that I think
Are you
is life.
Are you willing to reach out and see where you guys stand?
I'd rather do it publicly. So if we saw each other publicly, I would speak up.
Are
about
you
it.
willing to ask if they would like to meet so that can happen? Or are you talking like organically, just you want to bump into each other?
Organically. I wish
Well,
this
that could
person the
never happen
best,
then.
and I do feel like I was like, I always wish you the best. It's just no, I don't think I'm ready either. I guess I'm gonna stalemate them. That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Eating my plants.
Oh no, it's coming. Okay, wait. Maybe if we hold them, should we hold them?
Eating my plants.
You
They'll be
can.
off the
Sit
floor.
still. Sit
Come here,
still.
baby. Come here, Snickers.
We're gonna look so bougie.
Yeah, for sure.
We're gonna be the bougie podcast, and that's okay with me.
She's like, you're not picking me
She's
up.
like, you're not gonna come. Like, I want to be by my mommy. Like, you'll be by your mommy.
Here,
Okay.
maybe you take him, and since she wants to lay by my feet.
Yeah, she wants. She's a mama's girl.
She is.
She's not anybody's girl.
All right, you guys. What do you think about this conversation?
So I guess I'm not practicing what I preach. Am I not practicing what I preach?
I think you might be hurt by the fact that your guys' relationship is where it is, and you're not willing to you're not willing to move forward.
Yeah, and I don't think this is an example of a cutoff.
Yeah, because there's nothing.
Y'all
been
stalemate.
a cutoff is when they're like, you're a piece of shit and you're not my friend anymore.
Not a lot of
And you
people,
know.
but not a lot of people do that though these days. They don't really outrightly say
cancel
it.
culture. They'll just cancel you and say nothing, and then that again shows a lack of maturity.
Yeah.
For the like if you guys, you know what I mean?
No, I know what
The
you mean.
mature thing would be to say, hey, are we gonna be friends or not?
Yeah.
Just let me know.
Just
so
let me
I know.
Let me know.
Because we don't really hang out either though. So it's just like why am I reaching out to amend a possible break in a relationship when we didn't
so
really
then maybe
hang
so
out?
this is what I did with my friend when she cut me off. We hadn't talked in months, and so I reached out to her and I said, hey, I still love you even though we don't talk every day. I'm still here for you. I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
That's when she came back to me and was like, no, I'm not your friend, so I don't care if you're
It's been years.
So like maybe try something like that. Like I'm still thinking about
Since we hung out, it's been years.
Oh.
But it doesn't hurt to be like, I'm just thinking about you. Hope you're doing okay, and see what happens. No?
She don't want to.
I know it's not like me, but I will, I guess.
If you care, if anyone cares about salvaging a relationship, this is what you will do. You will put your pride aside and say, I'll talk to you about it.
I would. Sometimes I do randomly reach out to people. So
Yeah. I agree.
I don't disagree with trying that. Not because I want to hang out.
But just so you know.
Just so you know.
For peace of mind.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep.
Well, you guys, our camera's about to die, so I hope that you enjoyed this episode. It's like our little trial run of the podcast.
Yes. I love this.
I loved it too, you guys. This was like therapy.
I know.
We need to do this more.
Yeah, so the podcast is Let's Talk It Up podcast on YouTube. It's probably going to be super hard to find us because we just made it.
Brand spanking new.
But we'll put the links
down below.
Yeah.
And then I'll also link my girlfriends on YouTube and Instagram. So check them out. Show them some love. Thank you guys. Yay.
Yes.
Love you guys.
Love it.
Bye.